So we're good.
Yeah, we're back.
All right.
We're back again here, and hopefully everybody at home are gonna be much better this time. We're having some issues, but definitely was not my fault. So
No, it is what it is.
We'll watch here. But you didn't miss a whole lot. We were just chatting about New Year's and how we did.
Yeah.
You guys were sick. I was healthy. I had a good time. We hosted people. We threw a big party.
Oh yeah.
But it was also kind of like, I was like, you ever host and you're just so worried about like people having a good time? And then, people stuck around for 12, but then like by 1:30 people were gone. I was like, was this a good party or like, was this lame? But and then
but I think everyone goes, yeah.
I know, but my girlfriend was like, dude, we're just getting old. Like people want to get home.
Yeah.
Like it's over. And shit.
Yeah.
I understood that. But like the inner me was like, I was hoping to like find people like fucking in the bathroom and like blowing coke off.
You wanted one of those?
Yeah, you throw the party.
Okay.
Project X.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but it was fun. So it was good. But how do you guys feel about the new year, man? For someone that is so pessimistic, and I hate just about everything.
Yeah. You're a grinder.
I don't like the new year because it's just like an artificial reset. But here's the deal. Listen. I do get kind of excited. Like it's the start of a new year. It's like it does feel for like I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I'm like it is that kind of reset where it's like in your head. It's like this is a new time. It's a new chapter, baby. And so that
so we've been indoctrinated to think that's how we.
Yeah, that's how we get our set. We set our shit straight again to push forward with another year that we have put into place.
But it don't really mean nothing.
But, it's just the beginning. We got to get that. Yeah,
it's to help human beings like deal with time.
Right.
And like it's
resetting time and reaching a goal or seeing the end of something, then the start of something again, a rebirth.
B Hamo's here. I don't know who.
Oh,
he's about to go ham.
He says, "What's up?" He's here.
Hey.
January 21st, what's happening?
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, he's coming out, man.
He's
coming
on
the podcast.
He's gonna be on it. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
he was on the shout out to Bamo. He was on the we did like an IG live one a couple times.
Nice.
He's a young guy. I like him a lot. Cool.
Nice.
So you were sick.
Yeah, I was sick as shit.
Dying
of all the shit. So just double ear infection and fucking sinus infection at the same time. It was.
But you look like you're doing much better.
Yeah. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling actually a lot better, but I'm also on all the antibiotics possible. So
I feel like I've heard everybody's got something.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole world's got something.
I'm telling you, God damn.
It's
damn it.
It's just that time of year though.
Yeah, it is. That weather has been that time of the year. I bike everywhere, so that didn't help.
Yeah, I was sick too. I thought I was gonna die too. Where you have like why can't I stop coughing?
Yeah, you have one of those.
Yeah,
throat tickles.
Yeah, that little tickle.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, man.
That little tickle in my throat.
Yeah. But how'd you bring it in?
The New Year?
Like how
do I feel? I like the New Year's. I don't hate the New Year's. I like the idea that people are like, all right, let's go give this a crack at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of people probably lean on that, but then don't ever do it. So you use that New Year's, let's do New Year, New You, Me, and then it kind of dies off. So like the winners try to have that feeling all the time.
Keep that New Year's feeling.
That New Year's feeling, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like the New Year's though. And I think you know what I'm saying? Like, do you like the New Year's?
Yeah, I love New Year's.
Like he keeps referring to it as like the New Year's.
The New Year, right?
Like it's when it turns.
Yeah, I love the New Year. I love the New Year. Nah, I like.
What is your favorite holiday?
Oh, well, this year I think this year all this shit is pagan, but this year I think Halloween really got me. I think I like Halloween the most. But I'm a turkey baby too, so Halloween. It's like that Halloween, Thanksgiving.
So you like Halloween?
Yeah, Halloween's the shit.
For like the scary movies.
You know what I like doing on Halloween?
What?
I like listening to because I live in the Gold Coast. I just like getting on my bike and playing like some thug ass music all throughout the Gold Coast. It's like about killing people or some shit.
Oh, that's wild. You scared all them white folk, man. Leave them white
But it's
folk.
Halloween, so it's like this shit is acceptable today.
That's why I never even thought about doing that.
Anybody.
So would you like participate in a purge?
No.
Okay, that's what it sounds like to me.
Would you murder people for fun?
No, it wouldn't be for fun.
Oh, okay.
You saw the purge, right?
I didn't, but I am familiar with the
You understand the
process?
Yeah.
It's just like a thriller type of shit. That's all.
But you're just trying to scare people.
Yeah, it's like a way to just.
That's like that.
Yeah, I just go around listen to just wild shit.
Tom, what's your favorite holiday?
Okay, let's guess.
I like 4th of July because my birthday is July 3rd. So I like,
I like having a birthday around
what do you like about the 4th?
It's, I don't feel like overly patriotic. It's just like it's conveniently right by my birthday. And I feel like the 4th is like, it's people just, there's no like theme to it. It's just like, American flags, beer, and like having a good time. It's like barbecue. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, a good time. But I think it's because my birthday is kind of close.
Yeah.
I like Halloween. I fuck with Halloween.
Halloween is the shit.
You guys know how I feel about Christmas and shit. New Year's is okay.
Right.
Thanksgiving's, solid and shit. I don't know if I have
Thanksgiving's no joke. I like Thanksgiving.
And my birthday actually, I was born on Thanksgiving. So it fell on Thanksgiving this year too.
And that's not your favorite holiday?
No, it's my favorite holiday. It's always been my favorite holiday. But I feel like this year Halloween is like I was like, you know what? Halloween might be on some competition.
I like Groundhog's Day the most.
Head ass.
Why?
Describe it.
What do you mean? Why? What's wrong with Groundhog's Day?
Nothing wrong with that. I just want you to say why.
Just go ahead.
What do you know about Groundhogs?
The fuck do you know about Groundhog's Day? It being your favorite holiday. What do you got?
Well, I know that Groundhog's Day.
What's his name?
Punxsutawney Phil or some shit.
It's close.
Talksahani Phil.
I think it's like Punxsutawney Phil.
Oh, Punxsutawney Phil. You think I would know?
Punxsutawney Phil.
So that's my birthday.
Oh, Groundhog's Day. Okay. Nice.
It's such a weird birthday.
It is.
Do you watch
the
I don't know
to
the
see if
date
the groundhog actually.
No, I don't even know what is it. I don't even know what it
it's
is.
supposed to do. What is it?
Yeah. Well, okay.
No, what is the
so
the groundhog?
the groundhog, it's whole like if he sees just shadow type deal. I mean, it's fake, obviously, like it's not.
But people probably really thought about this, like this was what they did back in the day. Motherfuckers were stupid back in the day.
Oh yeah, no, I think it stemmed from that.
Listen to these.
Yeah, I think it stemmed from that, but I think it's basically like if you're out of winter, right? So what, you're coming up on it somewhat soon, yeah?
Yeah. So that's my favorite holiday.
Okay, like you coming out of winter type of deal.
No, because to be honest, see, when I was younger, I always thought like December, November was cold.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was like February.
Yeah, February.
I have like the coldest birthday.
Yeah.
It's always
February's
so
the
cold.
worst because it's like the month.
It's the coldest.
It's month after all the good winter stuff, and then you're just like, man, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
How do you feel about February?
My dad's birthday is in February.
Actually, February is when I want to be like, I've always, for like 8 years straight, February has been the month where I'm like, why am I choosing to live in Chicago? Why am I not going somewhere during this time? Well, I was like, man, I have to have somewhere else I can go, at least for this depressing ass month. That's literally like the month of depression.
Yeah, so for February sucks, huh?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's
I don't think it looks good. Probably is it sunny in February ever? Or is it
I guess it depends where you at.
I'm talking about Chicago.
No, it's cold.
Yeah,
it's cold.
It's a bitch, ain't it?
I'll be happy for you.
It's like icicle season in February.
Icicle season.
Wait. So what year? Month is your birthday?
November 24th.
You already said that.
July.
In July. You already said that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I kind of like February.
I was a Valentine's baby.
There's a lot of cool things in February.
Like
Valentine's Day is a thing. That's a big one.
That's what I'm saying. I was conceived in Valentine's. Around that time.
Without February, you would have never even been here.
I don't know. Technically. I suppose.
Hey, that's a bar.
That's what I'm saying. You are February.
I'm February. Yeah,
that's your whole vibe.
I'm connected.
No, February's dope. February's dope. But then you got Michael Jordan's birthday,
which is February.
It might be like the 13th or something, 16th.
Like on Friday the 13th and shit.
Is it February 14th?
I don't know his birthday actually. I know LeBron's though. Really,
it's Black History Month.
Yeah, true that. We got a month.
Did you know that?
I love it. Black History Month is my favorite.
He's like, I love Black History.
So
September.
Just a quick sidebar, dude, because I was talking to Colton with this yesterday. My Instagram, okay, you take a picture, do a reel and stuff like that. There's like suggested audio. It's always discover Black artists. And I'm like,
maybe you're trying to tell me something.
Cool. I'm straight with this, but it was like, it's the first thing all the time. And I'm like, it's not like his on his phone. I'm like, does my phone think I'm like racist or something? Or like,
it might, man. The algorithms are strong, bro.
They know.
I'm just saying. They know
Yeah.
exactly. People are always like, oh, I hate my feed. It's always like, no, that's probably what you want to see.
Oh yeah, it's definitely what you want to see.
Oh man, that's all they keep showing us this and that. Why is that all you? Because mine don't show me that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some algorithms are powerful.
It's a reflection of yourself. It's a mirror. A lot of it's a mirror.
You seen all this new AI, this new
Dude,
like
that shit's great. I'm down to talk about that because do you fuck around with it?
So I just
The
dabbled
dogs?
a little bit because I'm interested. Tell me what this Chat GPT shit.
It's wild. I mean, where do you want me to start? I don't. I'm not like an expert on it, but I heard hype on it, and I was like, let me look into this, right? And it fucking works. It's like Google 2.0 in the sense of like it'll just do things for you. So just case in point, just to like humor me, I was like, for the podcasting website, I was like, just write me a blog post about how important podcasting is going to be in 2023. And it's like, and just writes it. And I'm like, my business name is this, and then it's so funny. It's like, it'll spit something out, right? And then you can just be like, yeah, I liked that, but make it shorter and make it a little bit more cool and cocky. And it'll be like, okay, cool. And it'll just like do it. It'll
It's
keep
wild as
going.
fuck.
It'll keep going. And so, and then on the flip side, similar to like, Google, where it's like, okay, opposed to just, if you Google top 5 podcast microphones, it'll give you a whole bunch of articles and maybe somebody wrote about it, but it'll just spit it right back to you. It'll be like, here are the 5, here's the pros and cons of each one. And then, a little thing like do your own research, but that's it. Like it does crazy stuff. And so I feel like for anyone that's in like copywriting or people that need stuff like that, like
Fiverr go crazy on
it's
that.
huge.
So you're saying we just had a huge transformation in technology, like released to the public?
Yeah, I think they're going to paywall it pretty soon because it's free now, and I think they're just like kind of beta testing it. But I think it is like what it can do, and it just AI in general is because like how all this shit came out with like the pictures, how it could just like auto populate stuff.
Yeah.
Like pretty soon it'll get to a point where because video is just a bunch of photos stitched together, right? So if you just say like, all right, have a scene with mountains and there's a mountain biker and some goats and shit, and make it overcast and stuff like that, like it'll be putting together movies and shit for you in like no time at all, I feel like.
Wow.
And so who knows, maybe I'll lose my job. We all might.
Yeah.
But it is that crazy just because it's really just so responsive too, where I was like, you assume it would be like, oh, I didn't quite understand that or something like that.
Yeah,
but
you can use right now.
You can say, hey, write an article and then change this up, make it feel more like this, make it shorter, make it longer. Now take this and divide it by 2 and give me 1 sentence answers. It's like, it'll just do it. So I encourage you to play around. I encourage everyone else to play around with it because it's wild.
What is it called? Let me put that on my phone.
Chat GPT by
open source AI. Is that what it is? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think the company is called OpenAI and Chat GPT. But I mean, there's a lot of companies doing stuff in this, this field.
OpenAI. Okay.
That's it's crazy that human beings have created that.
I've like discovered that. I feel that's how I look at it. Like we discovered that shit. I feel like this earth has so many different things that it can do, and the fact that we can even get some shit that's automated just like by telling it a story and shit, like the way how you figure out parts of the earth that can just put that together and do that.
So you think discover is different than create?
I give more credit probably to the discovery of it because this is all our home and shit. So it's like you just discovering our home, like we just doing it in a different way that no other being has.
That's tough. What do you think, Tom?
About how it's gonna just like affect things?
No, there's a difference between the fuck we talking about.
The chat AI. I mean,
right, just now.
Yeah, just the difference between I forgot what
creating and
creating and what I forgot the word.
Oh, discovery.
Yeah, discovery.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. Create versus discovery.
Like with this specifically, I mean,
with like technology, right? In general,
I mean,
feel like human beings create it. He's saying human beings discover it. I feel like there's a difference, right?
Yeah, I think there is, but I mean, I think with the chat stuff, it's like you give something so much information, and it like, whereas Google is just a directory where it's like a library. Like, hey, I would like to learn about race cars. It's like, here are all the things you'd want to see about race cars. This new expansion is just like, I want to learn about race cars, and it'll just like summarize things. It'll read all the articles for you. It'll do all this sort of stuff, and then just like, so is it creating it from like scratch? I don't know, and I think people I've been reading, about the people this is going to replace and stuff like that. And I feel like for simple copywriting stuff, it's like that's tough because that is quickly going to just become like it's free and it'll just churn something out real quick. You could write an entire book with this thing like that.
Wow.
But I feel like from the creativity standpoint, it's like it's like with anything, it's like trying to direct something with somebody else's hands where it's like it'll never quite be like totally perfect. So like, do I think the movie industry is going to be flipped up on its head overnight if they start making AI movies? Not necessarily, because I think that human creativity is still
well, I know the Bruce
hopefully.
So are we creating ourselves out, or are we discovering shit ourselves out of a creative world for ourselves? I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I don't know, man. I feel like human beings, we have this desire to keep creating shit.
What I'm saying, I think it's one and the same. I think you're trying to separate it, but it's probably just more so one and the same. I mean, I'm just saying that I'm just saying that I'm in awe of the fact that we can put the earth together to do this type of shit that we create.
Wild.
That's all I'm saying.
That's wild.
Yeah, like the fact that this soil and shit and this oxygen or whatever, the electricity that flows through it, like the fact that we understand this shit enough to put it all together to create now things that can create something as vicious as this. And going forward, it's going to be even more, So it's just like it's crazy to be, like we were just talking in the car, it's just crazy to be this type of being that can do this shit like that.
Hey, what was that question we had to ask Tom? Oh, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
I got a question for you.
We had a very high question.
I want to know the answer to this question.
We had a very crisp question, actually.
All right. We have a very crisp question.
So you know what I mean, right?
I know what the fuck.
He was like, you got to ask Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you think the first thought was? the very first thought ever, whoever it was, whoever it was, what do you think?
Well,
what do you think it was?
The kid that was raised in church would tell you that the first thought was more or less, damn, I'm enjoying these apples. If you're familiar with the story, do you know the apples with Adam and Eve? Adam and Eve, you're familiar with the story?
I know Adam and Eve.
Okay.
Unsophisticated idiots that might not be knowing. Okay.
Actually,
Adam and Eve, all right, built, God put them in this place. They're like, you can eat apples from all these trees, but you can't eat them from this tree. And it was Eve's bitch ass that was like, I wonder what those apples taste like. So
I want some of those apples.
That's my answer. That's her thought. She's already trying to cheat on Jesus and commit the first sin. So, yeah.
So wait, so according to the Bible, with when they bit the apple, did they now have consciousness?
Oh God, I don't know, man. I mean,
no, because they were after that they understood that they were naked and they tried to cover up for some shit like that. But before they were just naked. I think so. Did they develop? It's kind of piggybacking off what we were talking about in the car with consciousness.
I don't even.
So
know
that was the first thought was, oh shit.
I wonder what those other apples.
I bit the apple.
Yeah.
I just bit an apple.
Something like that.
Otherwise, we're living in the Garden of Eden bliss.
It's a good guess.
That's an interesting story.
Can't prove that shit though. I want to prove it.
I have no idea.
The very first thought ever.
Well, that's cool then, like, because every culture has their own version of that then, because that's just one culture's version. Like how consciousness came into being shit. Like motherfuckers bit into an apple and was like, oh shit, I'm naked.
Yeah, I want to ask Tom that time. Do you, it can't just be like, damn. Right? I just don't.
That's the story that the Bible tells.
Oh shit. No, it's so I know. I don't know. A lot of people don't believe in the Bible.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting. Like every culture has its own version of how consciousness and life comes to be and shit.
Let's ask Tom what I asked you in the car. Tom, what do you know about the consciousness?
The consciousness. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna speculate or participate at length. What do you? I mean, is this like a Matrix thing? Like, are we?
No, I just. What do you like? I know, like we as people, we don't even know much about it as people. I mean, or like even the science, I don't even think they know a ton of science about the consciousness.
Yeah, I was saying, I think I'm becoming to my understanding of it, at least for right now. It's like the consciousness is a physical thing. It's like it's part of your body too. So it's like that's why we can't really hold shit in so much. It's good if you actually tell somebody or speak it out or some shit like that, because it's like it's an actual physical thing that if you keep shit in yourself, you can go crazy. So. I don't know. I feel like it's part of our bodies and shit. So I'm like, that's kind of how it makes sense of it.
So to you, the consciousness is physical.
It's a thing that's guiding all this physical shit, but it's really just a part of it. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know if it exists without it. I think it's part of it. It's just the flow, the electricity, all that shit.
Christopher, don't look at me, man. I don't know.
Bro, this earth created life, bro. Like, this shit could do some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like this part can be part of it. This consciousness.
Viewers, I wasn't invited out to the car, so I can't talk on this sort of stuff. So.
Sorry.
He was not invited to the car this time.
Yeah.
You've been invited to the car.
I have been invited to the car.
It's a nice car.
I know. Well, this is a new car. I haven't been invited to this car yet.
Oh, yeah. Sure, yeah.
That's exciting,
it's simple. Man. It's got that new car smell.
Oh, dude. It's like, well, it's gonna go away pretty quickly with what you guys are doing in there. But
even still, it's just that day one. It still got a little bit, but
So, Christopher, I see that you are doing another round of the 75 or 70-day hard challenge, man. The fuck's the matter with you?
No, I wanted to challenge
you. Prove yourself the first
did
time.
a 5-day fast.
What? Yep. Are you in that now?
Just ended it on the 5th. I started on the 1st.
What?
Yeah, didn't eat for 5 days. I fasted. A water fast.
Was that good?
And tea.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, for like, so there's a lot of positives to doing it. They've been doing it for like thousands and thousands of years. Like
I've heard this. I know people do this sort of shit, but it's like one of those things. There's like ice showers where you're just like, is it worth it though? You know, I like a hot shower.
To me, the way I look at life is challenges is what personally gives me fulfillment. When I feel like I'm overcoming something that I thought that I couldn't, or something like that, or like for instance, doing the fast. There's a lot of like actual health benefits to it, but I'm talking about for me personally is knowing that I have control over my desire to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the main reason I wanted to do it, is to prove, because the last month and a half, I don't know, I wasn't winning on my mental demons. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't winning them. And then, so it was not like a punishment, but it's almost like a test. Let's make sure you're not completely losing control. And that's how probably anybody has that with anything, but for me personally, it was food.
Right.
So that's why I did the fast. And then I was proud. 118 hours.
Hey.
It's wild, man.
And I probably could have went a little longer too, to be honest. I could have went longer if I would have just went to sleep.
Did you get it right at the moment you could?
What did you eat? What was that?
So I had bone broth.
Bone broth.
Wait, that was your meal
nice.
Coming back?
Yeah, you have to be.
Oh, you gotta
your system's all like.
Oh, so you gotta like trickle it in, kind of deal.
Yeah, but there's some shit called apophagy, and after like a certain amount of days, I'm not a doctor, but you can Google it yourself. After a certain amount of time, your body goes into this mode where all of a sudden the cells start to eat the bad cells.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is when your body is really getting efficient, which is actually kind of interesting because in my studies of fasting and with the body's dope. You know what I'm saying? It's as far as like, think about, it's always working for the most part,
Yeah, we gotta watch this.
All you gotta do is just shove some food in there, and it's like, it'll get your ass up.
Yeah, or if you don't shove food in there, it's gonna find the energy source somehow.
Yeah, it's gonna eat.
So it's gonna eat within itself. And I think the word apophagy literally is some kind of Greek word meaning eating itself.
Mm-hmm.
Swear to God. So I swear to God.
I swear to God.
No, but I'm telling you, day 3 or 4, I forgot what it was, but the hunger went away.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I wasn't hungry at all.
I've heard that.
Which
like
was
once you
odd.
get past the hump,
You would think you'd be like, I'm starving, but like, no, it's like the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I could see I could go further. It's just, you know what I'm saying? I could. If you told me I could go further, I could. You just got to push a little further. And people do. There's people doing like 20-day fast and shit. I think Mr. Beast just did like 14 days. I don't know the exact number. He just did like a bunch of days for a video recently.
Yeah, no surprise.
With like 18 days water. Crazy.
Well, all right. On that topic too, because I want to chat about you. Tell me more about your successes lately, man. I feel like you've kind of hit a stride that you've been seeking,
Oh yeah. So the brand I feel like the brand is doing well because a lot more people are well, first of all, I think I niched it down.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being honest. I think what helped me is we were sitting there and I was like, what value am I trying? So it's still the same principle. CARESNONE still means the same thing, essentially. It started off with getting over the fear of other people's opinions, right? So it's still that. But I think once I niched it down to the fact that, what that's called is social anxiety. And it's like a lot of people feel that. And that's the trigger word that everyone can go to, as opposed to just saying, getting over the fear of
Cares
other people's
none.
opinions. This labels it in the thing. And then your version is different from this person's version. But we all can kind of relate to that to some degree, you know, wherever part of the spectrum you're on, it don't matter. But we all can relate to it. And I think, and then I think the reason why it's genuine is because it's helping me, like the exposure, like I'm doing the exposure therapy now. It's helping me truly see that I'm the one doing all the thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So all the stress I've been feeling with these damn things on is been in my own head because I can't prove what no one else is thinking. Mm-hmm. So it's proven me, but some people would be so, including myself, would be so stuck of scared of that they wouldn't even dare do anything like this. And then some people where it's so bad, just being themselves. Mm. So I do all this extra shit because I think I'm pretty cool being Chris, but to the root of it, maybe I'm not. So I gotta do these, for me personally, these extreme things. Do you truly believe what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Like, do you truly believe? So like and I think the reason why it's connecting with so many people is because they're like watching the journey along. You know, they're seeing the story in real time. Right. And it's just, how do you, and if you feel that to any degree, I think you're going to relate to it, or you're going to at least be, and then I try to be slightly entertaining because it's me as a person, I think. So I think that's why.
Does it feel good, man? I feel like, you know, you've been working on this for a long time. You had success before then and stuff like that, but for at least from what I'm seeing, and here's the other little disclosure. Oh, yeah. I don't have TikTok, so I just see what you post on Instagram perhaps, but it seems like, you know, things have popped up, and I feel like having people reach out to you and stuff like that, you know, I assume you've wanted this for a long time, you know, like, and I feel like being impactful and stuff like that. So now that it's here a little bit more and you're able to like feel the next wave of your own personal success, but like the successes of others and such like that, man, how does it make you feel these days? And when, you know, has it changed what you wanted to do with the brand, or what do you got coming in a couple of months, man, this year?
So
good question.
It's a phenomenal question.
Wonderful. Good shit. He's a professional.
I'm trying to make sure you can get some clips.
I know, that's what I am as a professional.
Yeah, that was a great question. No, so the whole idea is, listen, so let's cut it down to the core. I've always personally felt like I want to be of value to like everyone I come in contact with to some degree. I don't know why that gives me a push in my life, but I want that person to be like, even if it's just I liked him and his energy was good, I was valuable to that person. I don't want to be the guy who is taking people's value away, you know, like I'm devaluing I don't want to be that guy. So then when I came up with this idea of creating this brand, and I've associated myself to that, what I'm trying to do is just make the branding, which essentially is a offset of me, is it valuable? Mm-hmm. As you know, so what I'm trying to do is build the and I think the value in the brand is if it's authentic and real. The more authentic and real it is, the more people will get, like, I'll get true fandom because it's real. Mm-hmm. You might rub some people off and that's fine, but you don't want them. You want the people who like it, who it's for. And then you can go together, or maybe they look at it. I forgot who I was saying the other day. What I like doing as my personality is I like seeing the murky waters, and I got the only flashlight. I kind of want to be the person who goes through the murky waters first, mm-hmm. and then be like, oh, I checked it out. Come follow me. But I still have to. You have to go through the murky waters. Yeah, you got to feel it in order to tell people what it is. So, you know, I'm battling my own murky, but I'm also comfortable saying, okay, this is where I'm at now. Come on with me.
You're figuring out the person that you are and what works. Yeah, how you.
You know, and again, it's a story. So I'm just, there's layers and layers, and I'll learn more. It is what it is. But once I made that association with the brand of the true genuine, and then labeled it social anxiety, because that's what I'm probably personally going through it the most. Mm-hmm. And it's not, and it's weird because it's not like I'm scared to go out and there's people around. It's just that I was scared to be my most genuine self. If, you know, I feel like I was always, it was like a facade. I'd be a little bit too worried, even, you know, and I get why, because you don't want people to dislike you. Mm-hmm. Because it makes you the most safe. If more people like you, the safer you are, you would think, right, in life. So we do a lot of these things to make sure we're safe. The problem is you're going to be safe regardless. If you're watching this podcast right now, chances are you're pretty safe. So, you know, you can use that energy to like, first of all, they're not even thinking about you, which we've proved already. Like, they're not thinking about you.
Right.
I'm proving that, and I'm trying to be noticed.
Yeah.
Like I'm
doing it on purpose, doing different things. So yeah.
And people don't really notice like I think they do. I'm not saying some people don't notice, but it's not nearly to the point where it's so detrimental where I can't even live my life because people are thinking about it. And then
and that's what's resonating with people.
Because it's I'm doing it.
Yeah,
right?
And so it's a simple story though.
So simple, but it's true. And then I'm telling y'all, because I know the feeling, because there's some things like where your like fingernail, like there's some things that I would like, wow, it's just that I would never do that. Could you imagine what people are thinking? Could you imagine what they think? And then that would have made, and probably a lot of people, so like, there's no way I'm doing that. I can't even fathom the thought that these people might have towards me. And I'm like, okay, I feel that. So I'm trying to help people get over that, to realize, even if they think, let's say they did think the worst, what happens?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And they're not even thinking the worst because they're so worried about what you think of them. So I'm just trying to, and I'm learning that more and more myself.
And how is that now? Like, now that you've done it and that's become your thing, you know, your niche with it. How has that helped you groom yourself now? Like, do you feel like you molded into it? Is that changing the way you think about it now or feel about it? Is it as tense every time?
Oh, bro, I don't think I've ever been this confident in my life. And it's not a matter of like, you know, I think some people get confidence a little fucked up, and I think maybe it's different I don't know, but to me, what confidence is, when you're in the most control, and especially of your own emotions. You know, again, that's a hard one to get control of sometimes, but sometimes you need to control your emotions in certain situations. So I'm always trying to, and then like desires too. Like I feel like, I'm not saying don't have fun and do your thing, but you know, if your desires are in the way of what you're trying to do. Let's keep it a buck if you have a problem. So I'm just trying to teach myself to not be so like I don't have to be attached to whatever these people think, and then they're not even thinking that.
Right.
But it's as people, we're so attached to that idea.
We're so attached to other people and want to be a part of the group, and
I get it. You want to be safe. You want to be safe. So you're gonna and then check this out. And it makes sense. Oh, hold on, I'm about to go on a rant. It makes sense. I forgot what book I got this from, but it's like you was a baby, right? You was in the womb in perfect safety. You was good for 9 months.
Baby boy.
Right? 9 months. You was good. Everything was provided for you. Everything was just, there was no concept of not safe. Then all of a sudden you're born, and then you're like, oh shit, there's a lot of unsafety. And then you act out, and then these people come, right? Your parents, hopefully, or whatever, and then they solve your problems. And then every time you just being your most authentic self. So you're being yourself, you do something, and, I don't like this, they come solve it. So people are now coming to solve it over the years. So then one day you're just being your most authentic self. Let's say you're 5 years old and you do something, but this time you piss daddy off with that. You know what I'm saying? And so now you're like, oh shit, I can't just control them based on whatever. So then what we do is this is crazy. Then we say, for us to be the most safe, since we can't control everyone else, the one thing we can't control is what we put out. So then we create these personas. So and we talked about this. So then when we create these personas, which is cool because you want to make sure that you're good amongst everyone else. But then we get so attached to these things that we created to keep the big bad person out. The reason why we created it in the first place was because we were trying to stay safe.
Right. Create our personalities.
So we create these personalities, and that's cool. But what I'm learning is we created those through our experiences. Those were created.
It's a mold. Yeah.
Which means if they were created, then you don't have to associate with that. You can just literally choose to get off a different plane. Like, so, and the more I'm starting to realize that, it's like, you don't have to be tied down to what you think you are or what people think you are. You don't, because I decide that.
Right. It's been mold, and it's crazy how you grow up and that kind of molds your thinking into how you think of yourself and how you're going to protect yourself facade-wise throughout the world and whatnot. And you kind of hopefully blossom into that as you get older, but not everybody can.
Yes, and I think that's what my brand's all about, is trying to figure out, you know, to put myself in the most situations where I'm proving that myself the most.
Right.
So, and because if I'm gonna say get over, you cares none, right? If I'm gonna say, oh, you cares none, and then again, it's more of a positive thing. But if you're gonna cares none, do you really cares none?
Yeah.
Like, do you truly cares none? And I'm trying to solve that real time.
Right.
So y'all can see this is what I stand behind, and this is what cares none is behind, because I will really battle that. And I know because even in the moment it can get it. Actually, I'll be honest. When you're having these anxiety moments, when you get to the thing that you were having the anxiety about, it's never anxiety. It's always the thinking of it. Every time. Whenever you have a problem, the reason you had a problem is because you were thinking about it. If you weren't thinking about it, did you have a problem?
Yeah, absolutely not.
So it's all about, you know, how we're thinking. And then what's crazy is, check this out. And we talked about this in the car. We don't even control our own thinking. So
yeah, just really getting deeper into that. I like it. I mean, look, man. As I do my new modeling and shit like that, some days I don't have the best day. Sometimes I'm skin or this is looking like that and whatnot. But I mean, like you said, if you don't think about it, it's kind of like there's so many things that you know what modeling has taught me, Chris. Like there's so many things that when you stand in front of an artist nude and whatnot, and even if you're thinking about something that's on your body, maybe the way you smell, or maybe you got a zit somewhere or something like that, like or like they're never really looking at that. Like it's so many parts of you that is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like it's never really a thing where that they actually even notice. Or if like sometimes I have to hold a pose for a while and I feel like I'm sweating or something like that, or I'm shaking or something like that. And it's like, man, what are they thinking? What are they thinking? But it's really like, honestly, they really don't. They're telling me, oh my God, this is beautiful. You're so great. You're so this, you're so that. You hold a pose better than anybody I know. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
and
damn.
it wasn't all like your feeling about it was not that when you first did it, right? You didn't hop into it with that. You learned that through time.
I'm learning that through. I had to learn that through time of modeling. But
when you first did it, what were the thoughts going through your mind?
They noticed, like, let's say I'm having a pose that was really harder than I thought for like 5 minutes, but I'm trying to do some acrobatic shit. And it's like, oh shit, now my body's kind of like shaky. I'm like, damn, am I shaking too much? Or am I I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Can they notice that or something like that? But then, you know what really helped me? I started to say like, damn, these are artists looking at the human anatomy though. Who gives a shit? They know that the body shakes if you put it in a certain position for 5 minutes. They know that you're going to start sweating. Like I start to appreciate what the human body is. Like, yes, if you do this, goddamn it, for 25 minutes, the shit is going to start, but that's the human body reacting to the, you know what I'm saying? The earth. So it got me to understand just like myself more and like accept whatever it is that if I got to accept my anatomy, man, and it still can be beautiful. Like, what the fuck else am I scared of?
First of all, I like this. This like.
Thank you. This is my new shiesty.
I don't know what to. Is that a separate piece or something?
Yeah, it's this whole entity.
Is it hella warm?
Hell yeah, boy! I'd be on that bike coasting. Like,
do you get like? Does it get hot?
Sometimes? Yeah, I love it. And these two boys, 30 degrees outside.
So I'll be going on these 45-minute walks, and I just go just like this. But I should get one of them.
Nah, bro. I got warm. Like 3 more coming in the mail.
You could put some like those warmers in there.
Boy,
too.
I'm old.
I would put some warmers in there, but I'd be good.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's what it taught me. It's just like whatever is gonna happen to you is a natural human thing anyway. So don't be so hard on yourself. You know, and it helps that I have people like literally making art of me, helping me and encouraging me with that, but without even noticing. Because they're just trying to perfect their shit. You know what I mean? So it's such a great exchange. It's just like beauty is just understanding the body is beautiful and the human is beautiful in general, you know?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, that what you do, I don't know if there's a lot of people ain't got, there's something that they're, even if they were in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the shape.
It has nothing to do with shape. There's this lady that at the Art Institute with me. She's a model and she's been there since 1968, since she was 17, and she's still
100 years
killing it. Like, but most of the models there, they're like in their 60s and shit. So, and that's just at one of the places. But yeah, I'm like, man, it's not even that's why I like that I did this type of modeling begin, because it really showed me from a human perspective, like beauty is really just every type of human that there can be.
Right.
Like it ain't
not
about
these like impossible beauty standards that we set.
No, that's just a corporate way of looking at beauty. And that's always been the shit. You know what I'm saying? The pop way of looking at beauty, the popular way, versus what the human is just a beautiful piece in general. Your mind, you're good enough for everything. Like even a lot of the art that's in these like art galleries and shit, they're regular people. These motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? So it's just that's the space for it to appreciate people in a certain way. And of course, it has its critiques and shit like that. They go through that shit too in the art world. But I'm just saying, as far as like being enough in a physical format, like you don't have to be the top model.
So you're saying like from a standpoint, the human is beautiful.
Yeah.
But would you agree that, and I agree with that. Would you agree with that?
I'd agree.
Like I can see how someone could look at that and say, it's a beautiful thing. It's so random. It's ridiculous. But then there's human beings do look at some things as more beautiful than others.
Of course.
So there is some like subjectivity to it.
To beauty?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, beauty is a cultural thing too. We aren't going to look at everything as beautiful. That's the standard human practice too.
But even when you look at it from a whole, even that stuff is also still beautiful.
Right. Exactly.
From the whole thing.
Exactly.
And you're saying a lot of times with people who are painting, they're looking at it from that where just the human being is beautiful.
Exactly. They're looking at.
So they're not even worried
so
about
many things that
the standards that you're worried about.
Exactly.
You think you got too much of this. Right. They like that about.
Right. You might have a roll here or something like that, or you know what I'm saying, like just a bad hair day or whatever have you, and they're not even thinking it. Matter of fact, they think that's dope as fuck. That adds value to it.
So why do you think human beings, like to most people, that's like one of the most terrifying things on earth? To be natural? Yep. I mean, like you said, it's like you wanna fit in most. It's like a pop. I think that's a really interesting thing. Think about like the history of pop culture. And I mean that in like from an ancient standpoint, like with the popular people, like they always want to be the ones that are more remembered, I guess, in a certain way, in a more populist way, than the people who just want to be kind of like people. So just people or I don't even know if they just want to or they just put in those situations, but so the people who like started clothes, like who started clothes? The origin of clothing. Yeah, right, real talk. I think you know how I think of. I'm anthropological perspective. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think it's like Homo erectus and shit. Right. Okay. So yeah, that's just them weather pattern stuff. Like if the human body needs clothing in a certain part of the earth, you're gonna start getting that shit from woolly mammoths that you killing, all type of shit like that. So it was more about getting saved than it was not showing my goods. No, I don't know. It was not. I don't think so. So what came first, the safety part or the not showing my goods? Because like people right now, the most part about being naked, you feel weird about showing your junk, right? Most people. So my point is like, what came first, that or the desire to be safe? Oh, well, I think it was just safety from the weather. Or warmth. Is probably warmth. Yeah, I just think safety from the weather. The cold, they'd be like, damn, like you said, they go kill some woolly mammoth. They're like, what if I just get what if inside of this carcass? My comic book literally displays that on the Homo erectus. With erectus, with like the origin of clothing and the pretty cool I'm saying, you probably storytellers. The person to know to talk about that. Yeah, like the origin of clothing and all. Yeah, I just feel like it was a weather pattern type of thing. I mean, your body can only do so much. We started off in Africa. You didn't need it really like that. And a lot of times that was like they were using paint products and stuff like that, pigments, or to canvas their bodies and shit like that. But then clothing became a thing, of course, when the weather needed it. Okay, so yeah, people, but like now you've reached a point where that doesn't bother you. No, and I love it. I love that I can just be naked, like the opposite of everybody else. And I'm telling you, a lot of people aren't there with that. Yeah, of course. I know. Probably the overwhelming majority. Yeah. Well, as someone that works in this business, man, how many? It definitely strays more to women that say stuff, but they're like, all right, this shot needs to be this and up. Let me see what I look like. Please, God, don't make me look fat. And it's always like, there's only so much I can do here. But and not like a dig on people, but it's like,
people think I'm like a goddamn miracle worker. It's like, this is what you look like. What do you want me to do? Like but I think most people are very uncomfortable, and it is admirable that you do that, because it is a very uncomfortable thing, like you said, for most people.
Yeah, I had to realize that that's my niche in life. Is I'm a person that's like you said, I probably am like that, like the person that wants to see or sees the fog and has the flashlight and is like, look, everybody, it's okay. But I just go through it. I don't, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, okay, let's just do it. And that leads me to being nude for a living. You know what I mean?
I'm saying, but even like, again, even when you were open with yourself enough to go to Brazil at such a young age, most people wouldn't. Some people like couldn't even leave 8 minutes of their parents. You know,
right, and that's why I kind of I figured out that my way to lead is just by doing and showing, and that's my, you know what I'm saying. That's kind of my forte. And so with the modeling shit like that, it really is like my forte. Like, man, you really can just be a human and just be beautiful, and that's what I'm kind of discovering and allowing to come in my life and own more so than anything. Because over the past years, I've had a lot of things I've been dabbling with, but this is like the most like my calling type of shit. Like, I'm the person that's willing to be the CARESNONE of all, you know what I mean? And display that and create my own and still make it my business and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the beauty that I'm coming into 2023 with, like that same type of shit as I was with 2020 or 2013.
2013.
Yeah, Brazil.
Well, shit, what's on the horizon for you?
Like New Year's resolutions, or just like what's happening this year?
Yeah. What's on the horizon? What big dreams you got? You got big dreams?
Big dreams, man. Well, I want to do like 2 to 3 times the amount of just volume that we did at the studio this year. That's number one. I think by getting that new set up, doing some other stuff like that, and we're already doing pretty good this month, so that's good. And just attracting new people, trying to be better about like actually closing some deals and shit like that is helpful.
Nice.
What else I want to do? I feel like
so. It's just a matter of hold on. Is that just a matter of like learning how to close deals better? Like maybe get your salesman. Like what is it you got to work on to do that?
I think like last year I was just a little bit more passive about it. Like if people hit me up, I'd be like, oh yeah, you want to book? Great. But like we didn't do any outreach. And now that I have Colton working for me, and he's got time, and like if the business attracts more people, he'll have more business himself. It's like I don't want to like underutilize him. But yeah, I felt like before I was kind of just like rolling with the punches. It was just like ironing things out, making sure things are good. So I feel like we're ready to blast off at this point. So
like more intentional.
Yeah, more intentional for sure. Yeah. So that sort of stuff. Obviously I want to a lot of my goals always kind of revolve around business, and it's not from like an income perspective, like I want to make all this money, which I do, but it's not like to like go get like cool cars.
You're not trying to get a yacht and
like,
shit.
Well, so it's not as much about that as much as like I think for personal growth, it's like anyone.
That's how he likes to grow.
Yeah, like for you, right? Like getting more modeling gigs or more like high profile modeling gigs.
Yeah.
It's like the career goals are just the ones that stick out to me as much, because like I don't have like physical goals, because I'm not, as I'm not super big into working out at this point. I'm not unhealthy, so I don't feel like I need to like get my life together this year type stuff. Like I want to try to make improvements. I've never gotten out of like my I sleep in kind of shit. Like the mornings I don't do. And so I got to work on that.
I got a good book for you called The Miracle Morning. The Morning Miracle.
That sounds familiar, but I don't think I've heard that.
Would that help you if you had your mornings?
If I stay up late. I think it's like with everything. It's not like I get like tons of sleep. It's not one of those things where I sleep for like 10 hours.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
Later,
do you feel like you're getting less? Do you feel like you would get more done if you moved your hours? Or not?
Or is that the problem? Because that may not be the problem.
No, I think it might not be the problem. I think from like 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm usually doing like jack shit. I'm either like playing video games or like dicking around watching YouTube. And so it's like, it's kind of wasted time. So it's not about the mornings. But it's at the same time, it's like that time to chill out and stuff like that. So it's cool. Here I am. This isn't quite like a late night, but like, I work weird hours. And so like, I try to whatever about it. I try also not to beat myself up. Like, there's times where it's like between 9 and 10 I'm up, but could it be better? Could it be better? Yeah. So maybe make some improvements off that.
How often? When do you get to sleep typically?
Like 1 o'clock type stuff. Yeah. Typically the
average
move. And so I could get up a little bit earlier, but man, I'll tell you what, you go to bed all motivated, like tomorrow's gonna be different. I got all this stuff to do, and then like, man, that alarm goes off, and you're like, there's no chance.
There's no chance
Like,
this day is gonna happen.
If someone's like, dude, if you get out of bed and go to the shower right now, I'll give you $1,000. I'd be like,
Tell you.
What about Adderall?
I'll have to talk to my doctor for that.
I think that'll help you very well.
What else,
I bet
man?
you get up.
What else? It's probably about that time. I've been dating my girlfriend for a long time.
About the time of what?
It's about that time. You know this. So that might be happening this year. So that's.
Where you gonna do that?
I don't know.
We should guess.
I don't know. I haven't planned it. I haven't scoped it out. So but it'll be good.
Are you gonna do it up?
She's kind of particular about. She's like, don't do it in front of my friends, or don't do it in front of her family, or don't do it like this type of thing. So it's more or less like, it's like, here's the best time, dude. But here's the deal, like the whole shit. It's like, I just want you to be happy. So whatever it needs to be, cool.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, it's like weddings, proposals, all that shit. I feel like is for them. So I think she's more or less adamant that like, while we're on vacation, but we have to be looking good. My nails need to be done.
Right.
There needs to be like a hidden photographer in the jungle somewhere, and it's like, okay, so
and it can't be.
There's probably a few areas, so I think it'll be very expected when it happens.
Yeah.
It'll be like, all right, well, here we go.
You should just do it random as hell, something crazy.
I do want to piss her off like that, but
it'd be great.
Happy wife, happy life.
It'd be a better story.
That is scary.
It'd be a way better story.
I always told her I was told this story from my cousin.
Don't do that to this man.
I was told this story from my cousin when he was getting married, that he proposed with like a little 25-cent shitty ring, and it was his test to see if she would marry him, just for whatever. And I was like, I liked that. And so I always told her this story. And she's like, you better not do that. And of course, that immediately I was like, I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm gonna have a fake ring, something like that. But I think she'd probably just be pissed off. So
did y'all hear about these new diamonds? They got these new diamonds. Did you hear?
Lab-based diamonds?
Yeah, it's like a thing,
bro. It's like the same shit, but just save some money, it seems. I don't know how the diamond business is still like,
they're pissed.
They are pissed. Yeah, it's like, dude, that whole.
And like you can't tell, and it's like so much less. But the diamonds
are like the same. I think they're like chemically the same. It's just like one of them was naturally made by like billions of years. The other one's like, we made that in about.
But you couldn't tell though. Whatever you could do, whatever.
They're like chemically identical. It's like
just when they were made.
Yeah.
Technology's getting. I mean, just because
that's another one of those things. It's just like
we're just figuring shit out.
I know, man.
What do you think we'll figure out in 50 years? It's my fault. Discover. We're gonna discover it out. 50 years from now, could you just imagine if that Chat GPT shit, and as vicious as it is, imagine that in 50 years.
I know, that's what I was saying. Like, this is wild that we can even do this.
50 years is it's almost like hard to comprehend. Again, you guys should play around with it, because like I think most people you hear the hype and stuff, and I heard it and I was like, but then I started just dicking around to see what it could do. Like, it's eye opening. Yeah, you guys do that tonight when you get home, like, because it's free. Just look up Chat GPT and look it up, because it's wild. And like, again, even you run a business, you run a business too. Like, even just for copywriting purposes, man, like it can whip stuff up.
Like OpenAI.com.
If you look up OpenAI,
ChatGPT.
But some of the websites, like it's not ChatGPT.com. So like look up OpenAI, like you'll see it.
You'll see it, right.
If it looks like a sussy website, it probably
is. Yeah. Nah, it's kind of funny because I feel like before you could predict probably a lot better than what will happen in 50 years. But now, oh boy,
because it's going so fast, right?
The speed of shit is.
Yeah, I think this is like the culture, the era of speed. Like this century.
Like 100 years really ago, there was like goddamn nothing, in comparison.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we were just like building trains and shit. Trains and fucking planes and cars was just coming out.
Yeah, the 20s.
Hey, what was the whole thing about the trains? Because we on some other shit with the train. I know there was some reason.
We huff with the trains, man. We saw
go everywhere else on Earth.
It's because we started with the car culture and shit. They started doing the cross country trips and the family and putting the family in the car and going across America.
So that's what
happened. Yeah, we decided we were going to do trains. That's why Chicago is so big. We were like the capital.
Those like the fast ones.
Yeah, the speech, because we didn't do that because we became a car culture. And the cars became our one of the biggest industries because we were the car makers and shit. And because we decided to go that route and have the whole plot behind just like making the big roads to connect all of America instead of doing the trains. That was during that time, the industrial time. And then the suburbs were created and all that stuff, and the car kind of
was after the plantations, right?
Yeah, definitely after the shit. You go south enough, that shit is.
Have you ever been to a plantation?
Absolutely. I went to George Washington's house.
Hold on, Tom.
I went to.
I've been my cousin.
Have you ever owned a plantation?
Not recently, but my family, my goddamn family. But no, I did went to a wedding for my cousin, my white cousin. It was totally on a plantation. I remember I just knew it was like
His
a
white
farm.
cousin.
I knew it was like a farm when I got up, but then we were driving and I was like, no, that's straight up cotton out there. And we were in Georgia.
Like legit cotton.
Yeah. We were in Georgia. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like what you see. Like what you see.
Like cotton. Like, have you seen cotton plants? I was like, this is a cotton farm. I'm like, yeah. Like,
but they got the cotton gin.
Not that long ago.
Yeah,
There were a bunch of people working.
Sped up slavery.
Yeah, I mean, so
motherfuckers probably mad about the cotton gin.
Oh no, if we were shit, they were happy.
Wait, hold on. What's the cotton gin again?
So it helps it like the cotton pick faster, but I think it's somehow it's like slavery is supposed to be going down at one point, but then the cotton gin got invented, and then it like sped back up. Like shit.
It was a good thing and a bad thing. You're like, oh god,
profits went up 5,000%.
My whole reason for being has now been
slave
removed.
Deaths.
I no longer have a job.
That's when shit got real. We had
they're just gonna kill me. Or
that turned
sell
all type
me.
of shit. Was like we
were just saying that. Like, imagine having a slave. Remember we was in the car saying it's wild, just me and Derek in the car. I was like,
that's a wild thing, man. And then I was telling I had this documentary. It's like a parody documentary, Tom. It's called The Confederate States of America. It's like if the South had won.
Yikes.
Holy shit.
That sounds good.
The commercials in this thing were wild. They were crazy.
I wonder if that could have like held on. You know, like now with
what, slavery?
I think so, like, though. If they would have won,
let's say the South would have won, because like there are other countries that have like pseudo slavery. But I feel like in general, I could be wrong on this, that like slavery is not as much of a thing, right? So like America, a superpower. Like imagine we're still at a superpower level, but we have slavery. Like, are people intervening? Do people no longer want to work with us? Like, I can't imagine we'd have strong relations with the UK and
right. But we probably would have went. I mean, that's what they were that was their whole economy, though. So it probably would have. They would have combated it for a very long time.
Yeah.
If they would have won it,
I don't know.
If you're in the Civil War with the North and Lincoln and shit, and you actually win and shit, and the whole thing is about the slavery economy, and you win that shit, and then their plan was to actually take over in Mexico and shit, expand it down there. Like that's what they're. Well, yeah, that's what these. We're gonna watch this fucking.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that. What's the documentary called?
The Confederate States of America.
We'll watch that when we get back.
I'm telling you, that shit was interesting. It was funny.
But like, so how about this? Let's get off the topic of slavery, Tom. I know you're uncomfortable.
I did go to George Washington's house. It was on a slave plantation. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was at a slave plantation once. It was interesting, very interesting. But plantation.
I don't know, man.
Oh, man.
You wanted to get off the topic of it, and then gave nothing.
Plantation. I forgot.
It's cool.
Anyways, D, we're almost where we at?
Yeah, we're at 57 now.
I got a few minutes.
Oh, we chilling.
I wanted to talk to you about. Well, actually, no, I wanted to say something about
what's up?
What I've gone through so far with these black nails.
Okay.
So I got up this morning.
I wanted to know about that.
Okay,
I was
so I'm
gonna call you out, but
yeah, no. So we could talk about it.
You're getting wild these days, so I just didn't know.
I'm a wild boy.
To me personally, I just would have never done it. You know, just something like, why would I do that? What would people think? I think we talked about that. So I did, and what I've noticed, and I've had it on for today. I did this morning, and I did some DoorDash. So I had a few interactions with people that would have seen me with this on my nails. What I came to realize was I was the one. It's me. I think we might have said that already, but I think what I'm realizing is that it's me. And by doing something to what I believe to be so at one point, we're not saying it was bad, just something I would never do that. By doing it, I'm realizing all that shit that we thought was going to be is just like it's not a thing. So that's what the nails was about. I'll probably take them off tonight. I made a couple videos.
Did you get them professionally done?
No, I just did that. It's knocked it out. But it's interesting because I feel myself looking at it. Like, do I feel different? Am I associating? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing this for this exposure therapy, am I associating who I am now because you're wearing this?
You're readjusting your character.
Well, no. I think what I'm trying to do is realize that it's all a persona.
Right.
Okay, so So I put these on my nails. Does it all of a sudden I'm the kind of person who will wear these now?
Ooh.
This guy, rookie.
That was I thought I did it earlier.
Yeah, rookie. No. So am I the kind of person who because somebody who walks up to me for the very first time who's never seen me before, first of all, well, we've noticed they probably don't even notice.
Mm-hmm.
But then second of all, if they do notice, they don't like nothing happens from that.
Yeah, they didn't attack you.
You get no attack, you get no nothing, nothing happens. So the only stress that comes from that anxiety is what you personally thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing that each time. I'm like, oh, so what this is a faster version of what I was doing before with a wig. And what I would do at one time, I would feel the feeling, and then I would make the video and I feel good. This way, it forced me to get more of those opportunities in a shorter amount of time.
Right.
So I'm getting the experiences, and believe it or not, and again, going back to it, just because I have it on doesn't mean that I have to associate with it. Like I don't believe I am what the body is. I believe I create what this body is. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's what I think it is of it, not what anyone else thinks of it. It isn't like what you wearing should. I should have no bearing on what you think about what you're wearing.
Right.
It shouldn't matter because it doesn't. What I think about what Tom, what you wear, what phone you have. Now I know you might argue this because didn't you say you could lose business if like someone looked at your phone and
people are petty. People are petty, but no. To your point, and actually, I will comment on the nail thing. Right. I can only speak on the times that I do notice, but occasionally I will. I feel like men.
Yeah, you'll notice.
And so, I think to your point, like I see that, and I would just be like, oh, he's got his nails painted. And like, maybe I'd have some thoughts about that. And I figured with you, like it was one of your exposure therapy type dealios. It's a brief thought. I'm not like, oh my God, this fucking person, but like you said, most people don't even notice half the time. And so,
but I would say you're a very open-minded individual. You could probably care less.
I could care less.
So,
yeah.
but some people, they'll find a way to. What about the person who really hates, people with black nails? Because there's somebody who they think it might really bother them to the point where what if I piss them off, which will take away my safety?
Mm-hmm. This is possible.
That's all it is.
That persona that you've built up and started to believe in too much,
and now you've associated with that paint.
Right.
So I forgot what the book is. I think it's called Super Coach. The idea is like we're all like who you are is the diamond, and then what you do is you cover in shit, and then you put paint over it. And the idea is we all think it's good on the outside, right? You got all these different layers of your persona, what you've created. In order to get to the diamond, you're gonna have to get through that shit, not the outside layers of what we've created ourselves. Like so, for instance, me wearing these nails, since I'm the one in control of what it is, like what it means, I'm the one that's true in my reality. I'm the one who's truly in control of the outcome of what's going on in my movie.
Mm-hmm.
So even if let's just say you thought something negative. In my personal movie, I could look at what you're saying as the negative because I make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
We always make the choice. So so people say, I couldn't do that. How do you do that? How do you do that? It's because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's in control of how I dwell on the things. I can't control necessarily what happens, but what I can control is how long I dwell on the thing.
Right.
So what I'm teaching myself is to dwell as little and as little and as little and as I ain't saying I don't have moments. We're all human beings, but I feel like I'm getting better at the fear of other people's opinions, which literally is like not a tangible thing. The way that I'm getting over it is by slowly subjecting myself to it, feeling that thing that I told you the quote that I love, the seek, and I feel like it works this way in life. The treasure you seek is inside the cave you're afraid to enter. And I bet you could probably put that in your own life somewhere. There's going to be that one thing that you just like, I know if I want this thing, I got to beat that. We all got that to some degree. You're going to have to do that thing to get the thing that you really want, which whatever it is. But until you truly beat that thing, you ain't going to get it. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's how I feel about definitely confidence. To truly be confident, you're going to have to face it. You're going to have to face all the doubt. You got to truly be aware and okay being a human in all its shape and beauty and form. Like it is what it is.
The downsides and everything.
It really doesn't matter what they think. because you're the one thinking. It's in your brain.
Yep.
If why even entertain your idea of what's fucked up, right? In my brain, I can look at what you think is fucked up and say, I don't even give that any. Because it's my choice.
Yep. You have more control than
you think and what you think and what I think. It has no bearing on what the other person thinks. We just allow that to do us. And it's like a crazy. And then the more you realize that, you're like, oh shit. And then that's why I made this shirt. You deserve to be wherever you are, because I really do believe that now. Now, I'm not saying there's not people out there who aren't working hard, because you know me, I'm all about discipline and working hard. But even with that being said, you have to be okay with being you.
Yeah.
What matters if you're disciplined and you're doing all this, but then you don't really love yourself ultimately.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that are successful in whatever ways, but they're not truly happy.
Yeah.
And there's people in different countries that have nothing that we deem as material success, right?
Mm-hmm.
But their way, it seems as though, based on what they've said, that those people are happier without all the things that we think makes you happy.
Right.
The material shit. The shit don't make you. And then, okay, so even I just got this new car, right? And I've always, in my last couple of cars that I got, at the time I bought them, I thought had like bells and whistles. It was top of the line for me, right? It had all these things. And I realized, well, the reason I was doing that is because that was I allowed that to add to my value.
Mm-hmm.
So then it was easier to look at the car now from a economic standpoint. I get the smart thing now, because the only reason you would even consider getting above and beyond shit is because you're trying to paint a layer of safety
on top of the shit.
On top of the shit. That's all you're trying to do. So instead of actually going through the shit to get to you, the diamond, you're covering it with fucking paint,
mm-hmm.
which is the persona. So I sent the email out the other day. That's what I'm on right now. And I remember you was talking about personas for a little bit.
Yeah, pretty cool personas.
And now I'm trying to understand. It's really crazy, because you do not have to be attached to them.
Yeah,
you create it.
I like that you put it though, and that's kind of what I want to. That's why I was kind of creating my business around figuring out the different personas of De'Eric. That's why I started the Pretty Cool journey, Pretty Cool storytellers, Pretty Cool poses, Pretty Cool.
You've created all of that,
and I created and put energy into each of those to understand myself, like shit that's in my head that I need to get out physically, because I feel like the consciousness and whatnot is you need to put that shit out. You know what I mean? Whatever your energy is, like time you want to get your entrepreneur shit on and like build it up more this year. Like that's your energy, being put into that. And me, I had to spread them out and then figure out which one. Well, I had to get them out first of all, and then I had to see which one was like giving me the most value and the most feel and the most success and everything like that, which is the modeling side of it, the posing side.
Which is a smart way to look. It's like a very smart way to look.
Yeah,
at it.
It's just like give all of your all parts of you that are you, give them all energy, and they will come together. You know what I mean? But sometimes one has to take the lead, things like that. But like, just be you. Learn your personas, but don't try to be anybody else.
Right. So like, I feel like it's okay to have personas in a lot of situations.
Absolutely, you have to have personality and character.
But like, you can literally hop them.
You can
even with yourself. The person who you talk to on a job interview is different from the person you talk to if you're on the phone with me versus different than your homie.
Absolutely, everybody.
And those are all just little mini personas, right?
Yeah.
So, and you're not attached to that person or your work voice. Are you attached to that?
Right.
So why do you have to be attached to it? And that's all that is something that you've created. This is only some mental thing that you've created.
Right. So you can shift it.
Right. So you can shift it. You don't have to be attached to it. So for instance, you can call yourself, you can say, man, I'm socially anxious, right? Well, you're associating with that part of your persona.
Mm-hmm.
You if you need to be medicated, there are some levels where there's no amount of thought, but a lot of dealing with social anxiety is mental, working on it, and what you're not doing is you're not feeling that thing, and all you're trying to do is get away from thinking about it, and that's what I'm working on. Trying to do that.
Yeah, that's wonderful shit, man.
Where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me at prettycoolposes.com. I actually want to get a little screenshot. I have a big picture, but I got a new flyer out right now. Pretty Cool Poses presents. I'm doing sip, draw, and party. You can do that with me.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I got 3 packages that we can choose from. We got a pretty cool package, a pretty fun package, and we gotta have a pretty wild package.
This guy.
But yeah, I'm doing sip, draw, and party. You can sip, draw, and party with me at prettycoolposes.com. doing that for anybody who wants a nice special type of party, something that's a little different. You can sip. I can get some champagne, hors d'oeuvres, and you get a live nude model, me.
There you go.
God damn, brother. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I
you should sign up.
I want to support you, but I don't know if I want to see your ass naked.
Hey, if you know someone who, you can support me. If you know someone that's looking for a special,
I think you should support him, man.
If you know someone that's looking for a nice little
ass. I mean,
hey, people like to. Hey, people do sip and paint parties all the time. Imagine doing that with a live model.
Right. One that makes jokes and.
Come on now, I'm gonna sauce.
I'll be Chris's +1.
You want to go with me?
Yeah, maybe.
I'd appreciate you spreading the word, because I'm also an entrepreneur too, and getting out my calling and using my body for the service of others. That's what I feel like my calling is. So I just want to figure out different ways.
And we all kind of do that to some degree. You just pretty made a business behind it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to be a human and express that, but I realize that most people aren't gonna do that. So let me do things and have my body be the service for people.
You know what I'm saying? So like, let's say you go work at McDonald's, you're essentially giving your body and your energy off to someone else.
Exactly.
You just doing it on like a little bit more grand scale, it seems like.
Yeah, I'm just doing it in a way that kind of makes me feel like De'Eric.
Is that something that people have to do? My fault. We'll talk about that next time. Where can they find you, Tom?
Chicago Podcast Studio, baby.
I see you making noise, man.
We tried.
I'm liking. I see it. I see you in reels all the time now. You on TikTok yet?
Dude. No, not on TikTok. I probably won't. Doing? I don't know. I feel like I just don't want to.
You probably should.
But you can literally just use the same. You can use the same.
I know.
And put it.
I might get Colton to start doing it. So I put him in charge of like posting on the studio's behalf a little bit more, and maybe because he TikToked before.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm waiting for the next one. After TikTok dies, I'll wait on the next one here. But
gotcha.
I don't think it's gonna die no time soon.
I know, and that's why it's like maybe. But
they're like the number one.
TikTok.
Here's the reason why I think
don't look for me. I'm not there.
There's so many, like every mega company ever is on that app. So you really be hurting a lot of people's business.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of business comes from there now.
Yeah.
People make a lot of money from it now. So it ain't about just a bunch of kids dancing.
Yeah,
anymore.
I know.
It's an actual legit business that people making billions of dollars.
Maybe I'll do it this year.
It is China.
But my point is they have sites that you pay a fee for,
and they'll do it.
Boom.
Nice.
And Zapier. Zapier is a good site too. You can find me at CARESNONE.com. Or at Chris CARESNONE on all the platforms.
Dang. Oh yeah, like that LinkedIn, by the way.
And that's where the real juice is at, man. You know, that's
the what?
I said, and that's where the real juice is at, right? You know, you and the content that you provide is, I mean, first and foremost. You can go cop some merch, obviously. But tune in to Chris fucking CARESNONE.
Well, go get the content. There's a bunch out there. I'm gonna keep making it every day. I got a couple of them coming. It's all authentic. It's all real. Check it out.
He does crazy shit.
Yeah, and like I said, my whole point is to be the person going to the murky waters with a flashlight.
You putting your characters in place, man.
Like and as always,
yeah.
CARESNONE. Good shit.